Let's all get together now and make welcome Jimmy Martin and the Sunny Mountain Boys.
Right now it comes time for the time that I've waited for ever since Darrell Atkins called me and asked me could I get Paul Williams and J.D. Crowe and some of the guys that has worked with me and slaved down through the years, much as 5 long years. Played for as much, me and Paul and J.D. has played as much as $5 a night and tips and all we could drink. And me and Paul Williams could sure eat pickled hog feet after they closed the bar. I don't know if you guys ever done that, but he liked them. And I'd like to make him feel welcome now. I call him the best tenor singer and the best entertainer that ever traveled and rode with me, and I love him just like a brother. Nice hand for the greatest, Paul Williams. Get up here and say howdy to him.
Well, I would like to say this, that I'm glad to be here today. I made the journey today for 2 reasons. And it's not because of what they're paying me.
They paid you good.
But seriously, I made the journey for 2 reasons. Because I too love Jimmy Martin. And on account of him, I'm here today. We rode a lot of miles together. We wrote some songs together. We laughed together. We've also cried together. One Sunday morning, the last Sunday in August of 1963, the Lord saved me, and I had to quit rapping because the Lord didn't want me to do that kind of work anymore. But I come back today because they're honoring Jimmy, and it's an honor for me to be a part of this celebration. Thank you very much.
Next fellow we want to get out here, he weighed about 105 soaking wet the 5 years he worked with me. And me and him and Paul has traveled many miles together. We, for 5 long years, me and him and Paul stayed in the same house together, eat out of the same refrigerators together, and picked together. And I enjoyed every bit of it. And these 2 boys, I thought I was just going to quit and get out of the business. They 2 fellows that I wanted to stay with me and take music, bluegrass music, and what we played all over the world. And I feel at ease when I'm on the stage with them, but for 25 years not picking together, they still sound awful good, and we'll let you hear them in a few minutes. Nice hand for one of the world's greatest 5-string banjo players that drove me a lot of mail on every radio station I was ever on. We call him Little J.D. Crowe, but now it's Big J.D. Crowe. Another guy that... Get up here and say something, J.D.
I tell you, I never did do this too much.
Jimmy always took care of that. He's probably one of the best I know of doing MC work. So you can have it back. This other fellow I was going to tell you before we let J.D. talk, I got into it, but I didn't bring him on out. He's traveled many miles with me. When I heard him, he was playing with people like Red Allen, Bill Emerson, and he was singing, and his brother, he was singing tenor. And I said, Bill, son, you haven't got no tenor voice. You've got a great bass voice. And I finally persuaded him into it that he does have a real good bass voice, and he'll prove a few people out here in a few minutes. Let's give him a nice hand. He's a member of the Country Gentlemen's now, but he's going to be a Sunny Mountain boy tonight like he used to be. Bill Yates, give him a nice hand.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And it is a pleasure to be out here on the stage with a fellow that we did travel a lot together. We used to try to make those show dates and not be late. I've drove many a mile and him feeding me pork and beans while I was driving. It's been worth it all, and I like to say that it is a pleasure to be able to be on the stage right here and help to celebrate 25 years with Jimmy Martin. Thank you very much.
When me and Paul and J.D. arrived up there at the big Wheeling Jamboree, they said, you come to a place that you come up here to starve, boys. Well, we was there 2 weeks. First Saturday night was at Wheeling. There's about 150 people sitting in the auditorium or in the theater. Remember that, Paul?
Very well.
Am I speaking the truth here or not?
Yes.
About 150 people we counted.
Sad sight to see.
Sad sight to see. After we was there 3 Saturday nights, and there was standing room only back in the balcony the whole time me and J.D. and Paul was at Wheeling. This used to be the theme song, but it's J.D. Picks Train 45. Let's see if we can do it. Can you? Hello, everybody. How do you do? We're here to sing and play for you. when we went to record this in the Bradley studio, Ward and Bradley down there, let's see. Paul sung a verse or two, and Owen Holly just a minute come in there and said, Jimmy, don't you know the words to this song? I said, what's wrong? He said, well, they choose a leader and everything. I said, yeah, but he sings it so pretty, Owen, just listen to it. He said, okay, go on back in there then. So I'm going to let him lead it for y'all. And we've got it in an album out around there of him singing it. Got a lot of albums with me and him and J.D. Crowe. One called The Little White Church.
There's a little white church in the valley that stands in my memory each day. Oh, I am many miles away, and many times in church on Sunday morning, that whole countryside will gather there, and they'll all kneel down by the altar as they lifted up their voice in prayer. Oh, the church in the valley, oh, that little white church is a place I love so well. Now I'm sad and lonely, yes, I'm sad and lonely for that little white church in the valley. They would sing the old song, Rock of Ages, Christ, let me hide myself in thee. And I know some of them are now waiting just for the dark and stormy sea. Oh, I know their troubles are all ended and happy forever they shall be. They are waiting, watching up yonder for the coming home of you and me. Oh, the church in the valley, oh, that little white church is a place I love so well. Now I'm sad and lonely, yes, I'm sad and lonely for that little white church in the valley. They would sing the old song, Rock of Ages, Christ, let me hide myself in thee. And I know some of them are now waiting just north of the dark and stormy sea. Oh, I know their troubles are all ended and happy forever they shall be. For the coming home of you and me. Oh, the church in the valley, oh, that little white church is a place I love so well. Now I'm sad and lonely, yes, I'm sad and lonely for that little white church in the valley. Oh, the church in the valley, oh, that little white church is a place I love so well. Now I'm sad and lonely, yes, I'm sad and lonely for that little white church in the valley.
You like gospel singing? Here's one we made with me. Let's just get around here and do it, called Prayer Bells of Heaven. Who kicks that off? while we are living in this world of sin. Many a burden that we have to bear, but there's a pearl at the Lord's right hand. Give every ring and He will understand. Prayer bells of heaven, oh how sweetly they ring. Where every message unto Jesus our King. When you are burdened down with trouble and care, ring on and on, for God will answer your prayer. Three Hebrew children to the flame were thrown, because a mortal king they would not own. Jesus delivered and became them song. Prayer bells of heaven, He's a man made known. Prayer bells of heaven, oh how sweetly they ring, bearing a message unto Jesus the King. When you are burdened down with trouble and care, my brother, ring on and on, for God will answer your prayer. Prayer bells of heaven, oh how sweetly they ring, bear every message unto Jesus our King. When you are burdened down with trouble and care, my brother, ring on and on, for God will answer your prayer. There's another song, like I said, is people ask for it today. The style of mandolin playing and banjo playing is different, and that's how come us get up in the charts and get popular throughout the whole world. I just wish these two boys could have stayed and got part of the money and ride the bus with me. As I've always said many times to the public, they helped me plant the corn, get the weeds out of it, and grow it up for roasting ears, and I'm a selling it. Huh? Yeah. Here's one called Roasting the Diamonds, back in 1958. Okay. Change all the dark clouds to the bluest of blue. I don't drink the champagne and I don't drink the wine. So if you refuse me, my poor heart will pine. I'll be so lonely till the day I die. And as long as I live here, you'll still hear me cry. I'd give ocean of diamonds to hear me cry. I'd give an ocean of diamonds, a world filled with flowers, to hold you closely for just a few hours. Hear you whisper softly that you love me too. Would change all the dark clouds to the bluest of blue. I love you too, honey. Stick around. Bless your heart, you get prettier every time I see you. I tell you what, this is one day for me that you don't know how good it makes me feel. And to have these boys on the stage, as I've said, and another thing, it makes me feel good to see a big crowd here like this. And you've always made me feel at home when I come up here to Columbus, Ohio, and visit here at the ranch with you all. And I love you for it. Appreciate it. I'll never forget you. Here's one when we was on a hayride back in 1958 and 59. Then we moved to Wheeling, West Virginia, and stayed about 3 years. We always featured Paul Williams singing this one right here. And if you like the way he sings it, you give him a big hand. I bet you ain't sang it since he's been with me. 25 years you've not sang this song. I'll help start you off. If I give you a start off, you can finish writing the words, can't you? I believe you can do it. One of Mac Wiseman's big hit songs, I'll Still Write Your Name in the Sand. Oh, I love you, my darling, how I love you. If I talk, will you try to understand? It's no matter how you treat me, I love you. And I'll still write your name in the sand. It's been many years since we were childhood sweethearts. This today is our oh, I love you, my darling, how I love you. If I talk, will you try to understand? It's no matter how you treat me, I love you. And I'll still write your name in the sand. It's been many years since we were childhood sweethearts. Blissful days I shall never forget. And I love you, my darling, how I love you. And I still write your name in the sand. Oh, I love you, my darling, how I love you. If I talk, will you try to understand? It no matter how you treat me, I love you. And I still write your name in the sand. Oh, I love you, my darling, how I love you. If I talk, will you try to understand? It's no matter how you treat me, I love you. And I'll still write your name in the sand. I'll tell you one thing, as I always give him the best tenor singer that I ever worked on the stage with, and has sold me more records, and you haven't dropped a bit. That's the way you used to do on the Louisiana hayride. They'd holler, "Sing it, Paul." You see what you did when you started singing here, don't you?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Think you're going to go back to work with me?
Brings back a lot of memories, I tell you.
It is sad on my part.
There's been a lot of water run on the bridge
I know it's
the
sad.
past 25 years.
It's sad on my part, Paul, that I don't have you sitting right beside of me.
I've been over a lot of bridges.
Huh?
Yeah.
I have gravel roads and everything,
Yeah.
and I've talked about you, and people has asked about you from Key West, Florida, plumb into Japan.
I guess at one time that I was pretty famous. I used to get a lot of mail just to clear my throat on the CBS network.
Here's one that got up in the charts back in 1958 for bluegrass music, but this was country music charts was in like Ricky Skaggs is in now, but they got it into bluegrass. This one here stayed in the charts about 90 days, most played in jukebox and most played radio stations, and Paul Williams sung tenor and J.D. Crowe can kick it off. One called Sophrony. My Sophrony from Kentucky, she's found another man. I can't even kiss her, can't even hold her hand. The moon we used to love beneath is still up in the sky. Now I'm just a hot shot with a teardrop in my eye. Love 'em and leave 'em, kiss 'em and grieve 'em. That used to be my motto so high. Till my Sophrony left me so long. And now there's teardrop in my eye. I used to sled pretty girls from Maine to Alabama. Loved them very much at first, and I let them down. I've seen so many pretty eyes and filled with bitter tears. Find a man forget them, but now I have my fears. Love 'em and leave 'em, kiss 'em and grieve 'em. That used to be my motto so high. Till my Sophrony left me so lonely, and now there's a teardrop in my eye. Jill Gable Rose's bugle, I'll be a loving that sweet girl. She means more to me than the whole wide world. I used to be a killer with the women in the old mouth. Now I'm just a hot shot with a teardrop in my eye. Love 'em and leave 'em, kiss 'em and grieve 'em. That used to be my motto so high. Till my Sophrony left me so lonely, and now there's a teardrop in my eye.
Request to do what I could remember of Rome County Blues.
Okay.
Okay? And it's in B. I'll try to do what I can remember. In the beauty of the hills, in the midst of rolling hills, that's where I have just 30 years when I courted and married. Armando Gilbert was then called my wife. Her brother, he sent me for some unknown reason. And just 3 months later, I've taken Tom's life.
Let's do Stormy Waters there and see if you still sound the same way. Huh? Go pilgrim on earth and may journey along, knowing not what the future may hold. I'd rather have Jesus and sing a sweet song than to carry such children and stormy waters of drift all around me, and the tempest and fury may roll. But I still have my dear Jesus, my Savior. How He helps me, nobody can know. When He saved, I forsaken, and my earthly friends misunderstand. Stormy waters around me, but I hold to God's unchanging hand. Here we have disappointment, so often I sigh. Stormy waters around me may roll. I'll hold to the hand of my Savior so dear. He's a shepherd that's keeping my soul. Stormy waters drift all around me, and the tempest and fury may roll. But I still have my dear Jesus, my Savior. How He helps me, nobody can. No one can know. When He saved, not forsaken, and my earthly friends misunderstand. Stormy waters around me, hold to God's unchanging Here's one that got up and highly in the charts for me and these boys when they was with me. When I'm speaking of the charts, we was up in the charts like Ricky Skaggs is handling them now for bluegrass. But it was in country music. But they didn't give us no awards, did they? No, they didn't. They held us back, didn't they? Here's one goes. Oh, what you got? I'm coming home, baby. Oh, what you got? And I don't mean maybe. Down on my way. Don't sell the house, don't wreck the car. Stay there, honey, right where you are. And oh, what you got? I'm coming home. Well, in my mind, I can see you. That's a pretty good sign that I need you. That's why I can't wait to get back home. Well, squeeze yourself real good in time. I'll be home before daylight. If you owe what you got, I'm coming home today. Oh, what you got, I'm coming home, baby. Oh, what you got, and I don't mean maybe been a thinking about you. And I'm on my way. Now don't sell the house and don't wreck the car. Stay there, honey, right where you are. Oh, what you got, I'm coming JD. Well, when I get back, honey, I ain't leaving. I've been too long, a little too much grieving. When I get back, this time I'm going to stay. Well, we won't fuss and we won't fight. This time things are gonna be alright. If you hold what you got, I'm coming home to stay. Oh, what you got, I'm coming home, baby. Oh, what you got, and I don't mean maybe been a thinking about it. And I'm on my way. Don't sell the house and don't wreck the car. Stay there, honey, right where you are. Oh, what you got, I'm coming home to stay. Don't sell the house and don't wreck the car. Stay there, honey, right where you are. And oh, what you got, I'm coming home to stay. We're going to get another person out here who's traveled many miles with me and the Sunny Mountain Boys and rode many miles in the bus, what they call a shotgun rider, sitting up there and keeping the driver awake. And she's a real good worker, real good person. Nice hand for Gloria Bell. She's going to sing you a song right now. Would you?
It is a real honor and privilege to be here. And as he said, I was a shotgun rider. Every year I worked with Jimmy, we played in Frontier Ranch. And it was always a joy to come here and visit with you all. We'd like to do one that was recorded during the years I worked with Jimmy. That's right. Here's one called Traveling the Highway Home. Going towards the sunset of time, traveling the highway home. This world is spinning, I leave it behind, and I'm traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. So narrow the way, thank God I can say I'm traveling the highway home. Old Satan said I never would be traveling the highway home. When I resisted, he had to flee, and I'm traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. So narrow the way, thank God I can say I'm traveling the highway home. Sometimes the way gets weary and long, traveling the highway home. But in my heart there's always a song, traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. Traveling the highway home. So narrow the way, thank God I can say I'm traveling the highway home.
Thank you. I was looking down to see if my daughter was dressed up enough to come up here and stand with us on this thing. Can you do that? My son on the bass, who's not been with me in many years, has been helping me out in the past 2 or 3 weeks. And this, after he makes this videotape, he come all the way from Florida just to get to be on it. And he ain't gonna make too much money time he travels up here and back to get to be on the videotape. And I think this is the last date he'll be playing with me this summer. But give him a nice hand. It's good to have him on tape with me so I can look at it back home. My son Ray Martin, would you? All right. Give a nice hand to the world's greatest bluegrass disc jockey, would you? Paul Mullins. Get up here. helped me and the Osborne brothers, Jim and Jesse, Bill Monroe and Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and J.D. Crowe and Mac Wiseman, I guess, more than any disc jockey in the whole world. And I want you to make him feel welcome and give him a great big hand. Would you do that? Paul Moore.
Can you imagine in the search for the sound that Jimmy Martin wanted, how many good banjo players and how many good mandolin players and good bass players and good fiddle players he went through with both before he found two like Paul Williams and J.D. Crowe? Can you imagine this? Huh? How many? How many did you get through?
Well, I went through a whole bunch. Needless to me even try to say it to you the truth.
But see, you really got to give credit where credit is due. And that's the #1 Sunday Mountain boy right here. Because he knew what he wanted when he started this. It wasn't selling for no second best, and that's the reason, that is the reason. Somebody asked me about bluegrass music. Describe to me what a good bluegrass record is. I said, man, get you a Jimmy Martin record. Get Soproni, or get Ocean of Diamonds and let the needle on it. That's it right there.
I'd like every one of you to stand up and if you can, sing this song. I've got a gold album hanging on my wall down home for a million-seller album, and it says Jimmy Martin right across the front of it for this song hanging in my living room down home, a gold album. I want y'all to stand up and sing it, and I know you know it. If you can't sing it, slap your hands and be a part of it. Will the circle be unbroken? Thank you, folks. I appreciate it.
standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw the hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Thank you, sir. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm cloud rise. They tell me of a land far away. They tell me no storm will never come. In that lovely land of unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of cloudless sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, they tell me of the home where no storm clouds rise. They tell me of the land far away. They tell me of the home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of the long cloudy day. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Will a circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? When letters come away in the sorrow in the sky. Here's a song that we used to do on the hayrides that people would holler in the audience and ask me to do. Today, Jimmy, do that mule song. So we do the mule song, and they liked it pretty good. I've not done it in a long time. I don't know if I can even do it or not. I'm going to try it for you, because Darrell asked us to do it. Then at 11:45 till 12, we closed the Louisiana Hayride with a gospel show. We got a few bad letters from older type of women said, I don't see how you sing them good old gospel songs and mess that show up with that old mule song you sang. So I told Roy Acuff about it. So I got back up on the air. I said, well, I would rather just sing gospel songs. But I said, there's so many people in the world and we have to make a living, and when they holler for that old mule song, I have to give it to them. So we're going to try it. Just a dab and a half. I hope I can get through it, boys. I've been up here for about 7 or 8 hours over here standing on my feet. Huh? I just started off with a run, don't I?
back his ears, now that you could jig. He take him down the foot of the hill, hits him to a car. Well, the mule loved Johnson, Johnson loved the mule with all his mulish heart, as he would say. Oh, boy. Stand over here, I'll hit you with a hammer or gouge you with a pitchfork. Hurry on down the way. Johnson took his old gray mule, he put him in a barn. He'd wink his eye like he's eating pie with a mouth full of rock. He'd take him down the foot of the hill, hits him to a car. Well, the mule loved Johnson, Johnson loved the mule with all his mulish heart, as he would say. Oh, boy. Rolling on down the way.
Jimmy Martin, the king of bluegrass.